And as everybody knows or has probably heard, the credit report itself is not a legal document. It has no bearing on your true credit. You pay on things every month. You pay car insurance, medical insurance, water bill, electric, cell phone. Maybe you work out at a health club and you pay gym membership dues. Just because you pay on those things and you legally owe the money doesn't mean it's going to be on your consumer report. And on the other hand, just because something's on your credit report doesn't mean you legally owe the money. There's no correlation between the two. For example, in many areas, there's no assignment of debt law, which means if a collection company tries to take you to court or threatens to take you to court, you never had an original contract, you never had an original agreement with the collection company. Debt is governed by state statutes. For example, in the state of Florida, there's primarily a 40-year statute of limitation on date of last activity. Debt can be categorized in 1, 2, 4, or 5 years in the state of Florida, with 4 exceptions. The 4 exceptions being tax liens, judgments, student loans, and child support. Can it be on your consumer report? Absolutely it can. And there are a lot of things, of course, that misreport on the credit report. And when you're dealing with a good credit repair company, you certainly don't want to deal with a credit repair company that does what you can do. That all they do is what? Send some letters to credit bureaus, they cross their fingers, close their eyes, say a prayer, hope for the best. People are throwing their money away. You want to make sure that they're, number 1, contract with a law firm. Number 2, that they have letters that go to the bureaus, the subsidiary bureaus, the creditors, their legal departments, the Federal Trade Commission, affidavits, cease and desist letters. The UCC laws are the largest laws in the banking industry. There are other laws. People think of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Some people are familiar with the Fair Credit Billing Act, the Equal Credit Protection Act, the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. There's a plethora, an abundance of different credit laws. Some that favor, of course, the consumer, and some that favor the creditors. And they work in both ways, and there are also state laws and adaptations to a lot of the federal laws. And how does this work to our advantage? And if a client comes to us and has 20 negative items and we get them down to 3, we can do a debt negotiation on those final 3. But we do a debt negotiation with legal stipulations. Once again, the rules that apply are different state to state. The credit bureaus, they don't score you. Equifax, they call it a beacon score. TransUnion, they call it a new Empirica score. Experian, they call it a FICO score. All your credit scores come from San Rafael, California. If you go to myfico.com, you're going to learn the differences about credit line, mortgage, installment, revolving, what ratio to have of each. Do you want a 2-to-1 ratio? Do you want a 3-to-1 ratio? A 4-to-1 ratio between revolving and installment accounts? What's the value of your current active credit as opposed to your credit history? How is it measured? These are things that we explain all the time in seminars on how to dramatically increase your scores. What can you do to legally tweak and get your credit score? What are some of the tricks? These are all things to keep in mind. That's why you hire an excellent credit repair company that knows all the ins and outs.